Hello everyone, this is Tarot Talk, and if you are new to this channel, I just want to say welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you guys. One of the reasons that we wanted to do this Tarot Talk series is because there's a particular young lady on our subscribers list, and she suggested doing this. So to Crystal Raven Rose, thank you. This is for you. So, hey girl. And what I'd like for y'all to do is, as we're going through these cards and as we're talking about these cards one by one, I'd like to hear how you see the card. What interpretations do you add on to it that maybe we haven't talked about? Because honestly, I get a little scatterbrained sometimes, so I know that there's stuff I'm going to miss. So I'd like for this to be a back and forth between us and our viewers, because as much as you can learn from me, I can learn from y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about the tarot. We're going to start with the major arcana, and we're going to start from the very beginning. Most tarot decks start with the Fool. So we're going to do the Fool, we're going to do the Magician, we're going to do the High Priestess, and if we have time and the video doesn't run too long, we're going to do the Empress. So we'll probably do these in three or four card parts. So, all right. So let's start with the Fool. And again, this is Cyril Marchetti's Retrospective Tarot. He does amazing work. Check out his website. When you look at the Fool, and when you think of the Fool, at least how I do it is I think of the Fool as someone younger, someone who is more carefree, someone who has put the past behind them, and is ready to embark on a new chapter in their life. And when I mean putting things behind them, it could be situations, it could be people, it could be ways of thinking, anything that doesn't serve in this new chapter in their life, in this new beginning. On a more metaphysical level, it's someone who is ready to step off and into the abyss blindly, who doesn't know what to expect. On a mundane level, someone that maybe is a little bit more foolish, who isn't thinking things through the way that they need to think things through. But you know what? They're doing it with confidence. They're not afraid to put that risk out there. So when I think of the Fool, that's how I perceive the Fool to be. Also, the Fool's meaning will adapt and change to whatever cards surround it. Let's say the question is about money, or it's about maybe undertaking or starting a business. With the Fool, combined with that question, it could be very well be telling the reader that, hey, don't be afraid to take that risk. Don't be afraid to start that business. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there in that manner. So the Fool is really about beginnings. It's about fearlessness. It's about just doing what it is you want to do, and maybe not necessarily overthinking it or thinking through all of the consequences. So as a basic, that's how I kind of look at the Fool. And of course, this is a very, very condensed definition of what the Fool is and all of the energies contained within the Fool. All right, so that's the Fool. Next up, we're going to look at the Magician. Now, for me, when I see the Magician in play, I see someone who has their shit together. I see someone who is got a lot of knowledge and a lot of focus and the ability to follow through with what they're doing. Traditionally, when you see the Magician in cards, he's paired with the infinity symbol. For me, that talks about a never-ending cycle that can go on and on and on. And for me, when I see the magician, I know that when he comes up in a reading, he or she, if we're doing for a female client, they have all the tools in their possession to make their dreams, make their project happen. It's about knowledge. I associate the magician on a lot of levels with education. He can also be associated with work. So when you see the magician come into play, you're talking about someone who's maybe a little bit more advanced and has moved past and begun the undertaking that the fool was not afraid to do. The magician, next step in the process. So that's how I see the magician. Again, like I said, there's a lot more to it, but I don't want this video to go like too long. So next we're going to look at one of my favorites. I love the High Priestess. To me, the High Priestess symbolizes someone standing in their own power. Someone who is maybe, she has the knowledge, she has the wisdom, but you know what? She's standing back and she's being quiet and she's processing everything going around her, but never doubt that the High Priestess is there in full force. She's also that spiritual side of yourself. She's also that spiritual knowledge. She's that intuition. She's a very feminine card. And just because she's a feminine card does not mean that she does not come into play for male clients. I've had many male clients who have had the High Priestess over and over and over again, which is telling me that, you know what, they are in touch with that spiritual side of themselves. They are in touch with that spiritual power. They're in touch with that feminine side of herself. The High Priestess is power. She is energy. She is mysteries. She is things that are hidden. And she is the night. She's associated with the moon. She's associated with the triple goddess. So when the High Priestess comes into play, and let's say the question is about, okay, let's say you're asking a question about love, and the High Priestess pops up. She tells me that you already know the answer to that question on a spiritual level, but you just haven't listened to that voice. When she pops up, I like to tell people, you know what? You've forgotten. You are that bitch. You know, you are that woman. You are that strength. You are that priestess. And it's time to embrace that energy. So that's what I see when I see the High Priestess. Okay. Another lovely card, and she is number 4. Is the Empress. The Empress. Empress. When I see the Empress, she's about fertility. She's about family. She's about abundance. She's about that nurturing aspect of yourself or your life. Yes, she does have a lot of magical and spiritual notes, whereas the High Priestess is definitely all about the self and the inner self. The Empress is about abundance and nurturing and spreading that knowledge to family, to friends, to people around. She's also she can also be very much associated with your finances and prosperity. On a metaphysical level, the Empress would be like that mother aspect. You have the maiden mother crone. The Empress would be the epitome of that mother aspect. So, and with this card, you're going to see a lot of, and you'll have to look close, and I'll try to see if you guys can see it, but you're going to see a lot of imagery in there associated with water and animals and birds and flowers. And she is very much, to me, she would be associated with the element of, now this is where I disagree. In this card, there's a lot of water elements, but to me, the Empress would be more associated with the earth element. Whereas I would view the High Priestess as a water element. I view the Empress as more of an earth element. Again, what these first 4 cards, like I said, let's try to, all right, stop, refocus, bring it back. Okay. With the first 4 cards that we've talked about, how they are completely interpreted, at least for me, is going to also depend very much on what it's paired with and the question being asked. But on their own, these cards make excellent meditation tools. I would suggest that if you're new to the tarot, starting at the beginning, take the Fool card and just study it. What does it tell you? What do your spirit guides tell you its meaning is? And really begin to focus and study each card one by one by one. And that's what this Tarot Talk series is going to try and help you do. Again, if you have any input, things I may have missed, if you have anything to add, please leave them in the comments, because we want to hear from you. I want to hear what you got to say and maybe your take on it. So I hope this has been a good start, and we will see you on part 2 of Tarot Talk. This has been Deja. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget, if you go to our About section, you're going to see December's Tarot giveaway. Don't forget to enter that, because we are giving away a copy of the Rider-Waite, which one is this? Pocket edition. This is the typical Rider-Waite pocket. So check out our page for that so you can get a chance to win. This has been Deja, and I'm done babbling for the day. And I'll see you on the next Tarot Talk.